8 steps to deeper intimacy. Each step invites you to move closer, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. Remember, you don't have to get it perfect. You can start small, choose one step this week, and explore how it shifts the connection in your relationship. Welcome to the Sexuality Clinic Podcast, designed to help you deepen emotional and physical connections, prioritize your pleasure, and build stronger, more intimate relationships. Hosted by Canadian clinical sexologist Roxanna Smallwood. That's me. This show offers a shame-free space for candid, science-backed discussions on sexual health, body literacy, anatomy, self-exploration, and relationships, both solo and partnered. Whether you're seeking to better understand your body, explore your desires, or communicate your sexual needs with confidence, each episode provides actionable tips and expert insights that empower you to take control of your sexual expression. From understanding the nuances of intimacy and pleasure to building healthier, more fulfilling relationships. This podcast is your go-to guide for all things sex and connection. Ready to prioritize your pleasure and start building the life of your dreams? Tune in now and don't forget to download my free checklist, join the waitlist for my online course, or check out my online adult shop at thesexualityclinic.com. Subscribe today and start your journey toward more confident, connected, and pleasurable relationships. So, welcome to episode 9, where we are going to cover intimacy. Now, before we dive into the 8 steps of intimacy or cultivating deeper intimacy, let's get clear on what intimacy actually means. So when we hear the word intimacy, we often think about physical closeness or about sex. But intimacy is so much more broad than that. It's about closeness, trust, and the willingness to let someone see the real you. There used to be this poem on my grandmother's bathroom door that said, "A friend is someone with whom you can truly be yourself." And there was a whole long poem that went along with it. But the gesture behind this poem was that your true being exposed, which we don't share with most people, if any. You're lucky if you do have a relationship where you feel entirely free to be yourself. That's great. That's a very intimate, lovely relationship. Today, what we're going to talk about is how to increase intimacy. So if you're all set there, great. Keep scrolling, head on to the next podcast. But if you'd like a few tips on how to increase the intimacy in your relationships, even with yourself, sometimes we're not even honest with ourselves about who we truly are. So intimacy shows up in many different forms. There's emotional intimacy, which is the ability to share your feelings, fears, and needs. It's when you feel safe enough to be vulnerable and you know that your partner is going to be listening without judgment. Then there's intellectual intimacy, which involves sharing ideas, perspectives, and engaging in stimulating conversations. This kind of intimacy grows when partners respect each other and challenge each other's thinking. I've seen a number of clients, and I've been in situations myself where a challenge in a conversation is misunderstood as something to become defensive about. So if there's defensiveness happening in a relationship, I know Dr. Gottman talks about defensiveness, stonewalling, and criticism as being the most high predictors of relationship fails or relationship failure to come. So be careful when it comes to getting defensive with someone who's challenging the conversation, right? So you want to be able to challenge each other's thinking. And so intellectual intimacy involves that. Now, spiritual intimacy is another type of intimacy, which may involve sharing values, moral beliefs, or life goals. For some, it includes religious practices, but for others, it's about purpose, mindfulness, or shared meaning in life. And then we're going to talk about physical intimacy, which includes attention and touch, ranging from a hug to sexual activity. It's how we use our bodies to connect, confront, not confront, comfort, and communicate love. Sometimes I do better at this whole podcast thing when I'm just going off the top of my head, but notes keep me organized. So I'll keep using the notes. So, um, today's episode is all about intimacy. So we're just going to keep moving into 8 practical steps to deepen intimacy across any or all of these domains: emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and physical intimacy. These are all different forms of intimacy that weave together to create a strong, resilient relationship. When we nurture these aspects, not just the physical intimacy, we tend to feel more fulfilled, more secure, and more seen. All right, so let's head into these 8 practical steps to deepen intimacy across these domains. So you can use these in romantic partnerships, you can use them in building emotional closeness, or even to enhance your own self connection. I think about some of my friendships as being intimate. I share openly and honestly with friends as well as with my partner, even my children. We have different levels of intimacy in the different relationships we have. So let's explore these 8 practical steps. So the first one is to be present. Intimacy begins with presence. When I've asked a question on what is it that you might like for your birthday, the response has been, your presence is my present. And so it is true to give your undivided attention to an individual, even to yourself, setting aside the distractions. Being present can look like holding someone's gaze, setting your phone aside, or truly listening when someone is speaking. It communicates that you matter and I'm here, right? Presence builds safety and trust. And it's a reminder that we don't need to do anything extraordinary to connect. We just need to show up fully and turn toward whatever it is that we're engaging in, rather than the multiple distractions that today's society provides us. These little phones that we carry around in our pockets and usually in our hands and take them with us to the washrooms and everywhere else we go. Having a little break from our devices can be really great to improve connectedness. Suggestion 1 is be present. Now, suggestion number 2 is to be curious. Curiosity keeps intimacy fresh, keeps it alive. Instead of assuming you already know your partner, ask questions and invite new conversations. So, what excites you lately? Could be a question you might ask. Or, what do you daydream about? This openness fosters intellectual and emotional closeness, and curiosity is a wonderful antidote to disconnection. So, if you can get curious, sometimes this curiosity can even move into your bedroom in terms of, I'm curious what the temperature feels like in your play. I'm curious what the pressure feels like. I'm curious what the sensation is that I'm feeling. So, when you're talking about intimacy, while it's not always physical, you can use this curiosity to explore what you are actually sensing as well. So, to be curious about another, but also to be curious about your own sensations and exploration. Suggestion number 3 is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is courage. It's letting someone see your imperfections, insecurities, and your hopes. It sounds like, I'm scared, I'm not enough, or I've never told anyone this before. This step can build emotional and spiritual intimacy by allowing your partner to hold your truth with tenderness. Suggestion number 4 is to be honoring. To honor someone is to see them, to appreciate their presence, their effort, their uniqueness. It might be a compliment, like, thank you, or it might be an act of service. Try, oh, I love how your mind works, or thank you for always showing up for me. This step can nurture emotional, spiritual, and even intellectual intimacy. Sometimes this can be a way that someone feels appreciated in their home life. Often, when I see clients who are maybe in sexless relationships or struggling to connect with intimacy or physical intimacy, there's a bit of a disconnect in the household management in their home, or maybe they've got a new baby, and maybe someone is feeling underappreciated, although you've got to be careful with the words you choose because some words put blame on someone else. So if you feel underappreciated and you express that, that's kind of like saying you don't appreciate me. So come up with words that are careful in how you express so as to not put blame on the other, right? You could be feeling lonely or alone. You could be feeling like you need more connection. You could be feeling like you would like to be appreciated. Again, that's another tricky one. So on the top of my head, I'm not coming up with the best words to fill that sort of need for appreciation. But, sometimes I say to my partner that my Tim tank is empty. And that doesn't mean there's a physical tank. It's like, hey, give me something here. I need a little bit of connection with you. I'm feeling disconnected. So you can go ahead and use, put your partner's name in the Fred tank, the John tank, the Sammy tank, whatever it is. Honor your partner and honor your own contributions as well, because I know during life changes and big events like childbirth, there's significant change in all aspects of your life. And it may feel like you're not being productive or accomplishing much, but in many cases, you don't need to be seeing the accomplishment. It's about the connection and the new change and feeling supported in the choices you've made or the actions that you're taking. So, suggestion number 5 is to be accountable. So, being accountable means taking responsibility for your actions, your words, and impact. It's the opposite of defensiveness. So, admitting that you were wrong is a great way to be accountable. I didn't fall through on that. I'm sorry. This can create safety in a relationship and keep trust intact. Trust is a core ingredient in any form of intimacy. If I may suggest that you do everything in your power to keep trust intact, you will be in a better position, even if it's seemingly a white lie. These can really build in a partner's mind. If they've caught you in a white lie, then what else are you lying about, right? So keeping trust intact, admitting when you are out of line, from what I've learned, when there has been a regrettable incident or an argument, something that you obviously would rather it didn't happen, the trust and the connection is in the repair, right? So you want to talk through these. Be afraid if you do not have the ability to communicate your feelings from a previous experience. So if that gets dismissed, consider that a bit of a flag to watch out for, right? So you want to be able to address when you felt there was a wrongdoing and talk through it, not in a defensive or stonewalling or critical way, but to share feelings, I statements, I felt this, I feel that, and then to make sure that there's an opportunity for repair. The repair is where the relationship builds, and that's where you can hopefully avoid future regrettable incidents. Suggestion number 6 is to be sensual. Sensuality is presence with your body. It includes gentle touch, eye contact, shared breath, and engaging the senses. Now, this doesn't mean sharing exact breath, but sometimes breathing in a similar pattern or copying, even without them knowing, sharing a breathing pattern can really be quite connecting. Try to get into the same energy and space together and be sensual is really quite beneficial. So it's about slowing down and letting yourself feel. Sensuality creates a bridge between physical and emotional intimacy, and it can be experienced alone or with a partner. Suggestion number 7 is to be playful. Play is deeply intimate. It lowers our guard, it boosts oxytocin, which is the feel-good hormone, and it brings joy. So whether it's being silly, flirting, or trying something new in bed, play fosters connection without pressure. In long-term relationships, this often gets forgotten, but play really is a superpower. I like to consider adult play It's like you're having a play date with your partner, right? We don't need to think about foreplay as if it's something happening before the main event. I would love to rewrite the narrative that, sex is play. You're just being your most authentic, true self with a partner or exploring solo. And to be playful and curious can really make the experience more enjoyable. And we do what we enjoy, right? So if you're not having fun, you're probably not desiring your sex or sexy times. Trying to identify what it is that you do enjoy can help you to experience more pleasure. And then, of course, to communicate what it is you enjoy to any partners or to be honest with yourself about it. Now, on to number 8, be adventurous. Okay, so adventure means embracing novelty. That could be trying a new sexual experience. It could be traveling together, or it could be asking a daring question. So, adventure builds intellectual, emotional, and physical intimacy by encouraging you to grow together and stretch outside your comfort zone. Now, again, this doesn't mean that you have to buy a whole bunch of gadgets or toys and start including them in your sex life. Not at all. It could be as simple as asking if there's something that your partner's interested in that they haven't tried yet, or if there's something that you're interested in that you haven't tried, express that to a partner. This could be the way that you spend your date. It could be how you spend your time together in bed, and it could be what you do while you're on vacation. There's so many options when it comes to adding adventure. Consider your bucket list and maybe chat with a partner about a bucket list. That could be a great exploration suggestion or a homework assignment, if you will, to write out 50 things you'd like to complete in the next, say, 15 to 20 years, and then have a partner do the same, and then talk about your lists together. This could really build some nice intimacy and some shared sort of ideas, and you can see where things align, and you can also see where they don't align, but make sure that you're not holding your partner back from doing things that they want to do if it's not necessarily what you're interested in. I've been learning more about how Dr. Gottman says turning towards your partner and talking through everything can really foster closeness and great relationship outcomes. But then there's Esther Perel who talks about, having autonomy and individual lives and times away from each other, which can foster closeness in times when you are together. So they're both right. I've listened to Emily Nagoski talk about how the two of them have sort of opposing views, but that they're both right, with quotes, if there can be such a thing as being right when it comes to one's relationship. So turning toward fostering emotional connection, but also spending time individually, making sure that you're feeling supported in achieving your own dreams and goals, right? So adventure is great, whether you're doing the adventure together or not, making sure to have that opportunity to explore and experience your life, which is yours to live, and it's fleeting to experience it and to live it to the fullest. So there you have it. 8 steps to deeper intimacy. Be present, be curious, be vulnerable, be honoring, be accountable, be sensual, be playful, and be adventurous. So each step invites you to move closer, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. Remember, you don't have to get it perfect. You can start small, choose one step this week, and explore how it shifts the connection in your relationship. So if you found today's episode helpful, head on over to the sexualityclinic.com to download some of my free tools, explore online courses, and shop products designed to support your intimate journey. You can also make an appointment to see me for 50 minutes or for an hour and a half. So until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and always prioritize your pleasure.